content serves two roles.
Yeah.
Number one, the search engines key on these, and that's going to move you further up the list on an organic search.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you want to inspire a consumer enough to say, wow, you know, they not only have what I want, this looks like a pretty good operation. The information that I want was right here.
Right.
So I don't think the pimply-faced kid down the street can all the time get that, you know, get that content on
Right.
there. Search engine content, you want to, first of all, do well on an organic search, and it's a heck of a competitive operation there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tricks to the trade to that. But I think you've hit on a very important point, and that is that the manufacturers are also keenly aware of that as well, which is why, you know, companies like Mohawk, for example, have developed content. They've done a content program that they want their dealers, and they want to encourage their dealers to pick up and reuse their content, because they recognize the fact that original content relevant to their target takes time to develop. It takes time to write it takes time to design it takes time to present it takes time to schedule it, and so forth. So yeah, it's a challenge for anybody, which is why so many companies are out there that can understand your business and can then implement that kind of content program. But, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, original content either. And I think there's a lot of good content out there that you as a dealer can share with your customer base as a service to them. Let's say Country Living Magazine does a great spread on designing a sunroom. Okay? Well, flooring goes in sunrooms, right? So, you know, that's something that your customer might find interesting.
You can link to that, or
You can link to that. You can put that on your Facebook page. You can talk about it on your LinkedIn page. Whatever makes the most sense. But what I'm saying is, you didn't create that article. Country Living Magazine did. But you can share that because, you know, you're sensitive to the needs of your customers. You know that they'll find that enjoyable. Why not?
Yeah.
So.
Now, there's two kinds of sites basically everywhere, and certainly in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
There's a custom site, one where you sit down with a professional,
right,
pimply-faced kid or otherwise, and come up with your own site that's unlike any other.
Right, which is rarely done, by the way. I mean, even you know, when you're getting into companies that are 100 million in sales, you know, something like that, yeah, you know, you've got the budget, you can sit down and you can go through the entire exercise of creating the wireframes and the comps and all of that stuff and create something truly unique to you. But, you know, my experience has been, even for larger companies, very often they'll start with a good working template and then customize that. So
I've seen an awful lot of players that had much less than $100 million do custom sites.
Oh, I know.
And first class.
Oh, absolutely.
Custom sites.
Absolutely.
Now, an alternative of that in this industry is a formatted site, which is basically,
it's a template.
They're all the same.
Well, no.
And the information, well, you have your individual phone number or address, some of the products and so on. But when these are scanned by a search engine, basically a lot of the content is just like 25 others, 100 others, 200 others.
Well, you're talking
and
about
I think that doesn't bode well for a search engine.
Yeah, what you're describing is something like you know, a service that is specializing in a particular industry and has, you know, you can basically buy this website off the rack.
Exactly.
And it's kind of a one-size-fits-all.
And you plug your stuff in.
And you plug your stuff in, and it may even come with content already plugged into it and so forth like that. You're absolutely right about that. But my point is that there are a lot of excellent resources out there. There are so many variations in design and functionality, and basic look, that you can stand out in a crowd if you have someone helping you that knows how to help you do that. For example, so much of the look of really nice looking sites comes down to photography, because and that should come as no surprise, actually, because in the flooring business, it's a fashion business, it's a visual business. So good photography can make the difference. And how that photography is created, how it's photoshopped, how it's finessed, it can make a huge difference. So there are things that you can do without spending a fortune to really have a great looking functional site. There really are.
I think first people have to know what a good site is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, as I mentioned earlier, in my humble opinion, are not first-class sites.
Right.
Now, we talked about search engines and doing well on a search engine.
Right.
They will scan and they see certain items that they like. Uniqueness is one of them.
Right.
And that will move you further up the ladder on an organic search.
Well, right. I mean, organic searches are some kind of the holy grail of the whole thing, right?
Right.
But let's be realistic, okay? Most searches don't go past page 1 of Google. That's roughly 80% of all searches, or probably closer to 90%. If you don't make it to page 1 through an organic search engine optimization program, forget it.
Chances are you're not going to get to
Forget it.
discover.
And in the floor covering business, I can tell you who's on page 1. It's going to be Depot. It's going to be Lowe's. It's going to be Shaw. It's going to be lumber liquidators. It's going to be some heavy hitters up there who are spending the money. I mean, they've got it to spend. Let's face it. It's definitely a David and Goliath situation.
Well, and these also, if somebody does a local search, carpet,
they're still going to get muscled out.
They're still going to be muscled out. They're everywhere.
Exactly. Well, what they're also doing, though, Dave, is they're buying that placement as well.
Exactly.
They're putting those ads in there. So it is something to work for. It's something to strive for. Know that you've got to have more than just a good website to do it. You've got to have a lot of presence on the internet. You've got to have a lot of links to your site. You've got to have a lot of traffic. I mean, the Google and Bing and the rest of them look at all of that and rank you accordingly. And it's just reality. But here's the thing, though, Dave. Here's the thing. When you're using any kind of directory program to link to your site, whether it's Google Maps, whether it's Yelp, whatever it is.
And there's dozens of them.
Yeah. I tell you the big ones that are coming up, and I don't know, and shame on me for not knowing this, maybe you know this, but, Angie's List and Home Advisor and so forth. I don't know if floor covering people are on there or not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So those are directory sites, membership driven, but people go there because they got a project to do. Okay? They're not going there just to kill time. So the importance is not only search engine optimization, which is important, but in most cases, for most dealers, is making sure that you look like you're ready to go to work when they do connect from there to your site.
Now, these directories, Yelp and all the other ones, dozens and dozens of them, a lot of those listings are free.
Yes.
I think it's important, number one, that you fill out the information and you have it be accurate.
Yes.
Because you don't want to anger people by having the wrong information in it.
Exactly.
And that's a good heads up.
And keeping it updated too.
Exactly.
I mean, if you change your store hours, make sure that everyone knows that. So,
Exactly, exactly. Now, I see most of these situations. A consumer gets on the internet, they want to, I got to do the kitchen, I don't know on tile, I don't know what I want, LVT, I don't even know what I want. So they search product, manufacturing websites, see what's available. Wow, I really like this. Then,
right.
through one way or another, they begin the search. Okay, now where can I find this particular product that I want somewhere in my area?
Right.
And hopefully you have done your work on these various directories, and you've done well on search engines enough where you're going to end up on that front page.
Right.
Then the moment of truth comes.
Right.
Okay, I may have a shot at this guy, this woman. She's going to come on my site. What do I do to at least inspire them enough to want to come and walk in my front door? What do I need? You mentioned photography. Obviously, you want to make the product look good.
That's the inspiring part you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but
I want to see. I mean, put yourself in the shoes of the customer. Okay, so what do you want to see? Well, you want to see. You want to be able to see enough to know that you can trust this company, right? And how do you do that? Well, endorsements are great. It's the old third-party endorsement. It's the word of mouth. Hey, Ajax Flooring did a great job in putting in this new floor covering in our sunroom or our great room or whatever. Look at it. It looks beautiful. And then there's the picture, of that sort of thing. Certifications are important. And, I've talked to a lot of dealers about that. And those are tough to keep current. And there are a lot of, sort of certifying bodies out there. But certifications for the installers, are they trained? Do they have the certification in these flooring types? That's important. Memberships are important, Better Business Bureau and so forth. I mean, things that you would normally want to see in any business, you want to see in this business as well. But you want to see a clean site. You want to see a well-designed site. You want to see something that moves quickly. Remember, the attention span is brutal. I mean, you're only looking at perhaps 2 seconds.
You've got to do something in 2
you got
seconds
you got
to
to
make
hold
them want
me.
to
You got to hold me. Yeah, you got to hold me. So it's there's a lot of things, but as you pointed out, and going around the country and visiting different dealers, talking to different dealers and looking at the websites that are around there. Yeah, there's some room for improvement.
In fact, it's a good idea before you really design a website to spend some time on the internet seeing what's out there. When I call retailers to do an interview, I get on their site first, and I try to find what's the heading, who we are.
About us.
About us. A lot of people have pictures of people in there, little bit of a wedge of copy
they'll
in
show
there.
their pet cat.
I would say, I would say probably half, maybe more, stores do not have that. They may have a little wedge of copy in there that'll say we started in 1958 and yada yada.
Right.
But you don't know who the people are. You don't know what they look like. I personally find that to be strong. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah,
if it's done well, if it's done right, it gives you a sort of an insider's glimpse into that company, right? And to that establishment. For example, if a lot of dealers will have a designer on staff.
Yeah.
I want to know about him or her. I want to know where they went to school. I want to know what they've done, what they've designed for, what their point of view about design and decorating is. Those are important to me. I'll feel comfortable with that. But to your point, if you don't identify who these people are, and it's like, Does this look like a mistake? Who are these people? It's like,
Yeah.
and then the one thing too, though, that you have to be careful about in this day and age, and it's just the way things are now, right? But you've got to worry about privacy. And I've worked with clients that I've really wanted them to have their picture on the site and identify who they are and so forth, because it makes it personal, right? I mean, that's the way things are now. You don't sell anybody, you build a relationship with them. And a lot of clients have said, man, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. I just don't.
No, I
And I don't
can
blame
understand
them.
that.
I don't blame them.